Kong Dan Fernandez put the paper he was holding on the table and told me, ito ang sasabihin mong statement na ito. Kong Abante asked me how many years do still I have with the PNP. Pwede ka pang maging hinaran.
Colonel Grijaldo, isa ka sa mga pinapatawag doon sa hearing sa Quadcom.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, pwede mong i-share kung anong gusto mong i-share dito sa committee na ito?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right.
Mr. Chair, Your Honors, sa ating lahat, magandang hapon. Allow me to read my opening statement. Matapos ang House Quadcom hearing na umabot ng 14 hours, dumating ako sa bahay ng madaling araw ng October 23, kasagsagan ng bagyong Christine. Hinihintay ako ng ating pamilya at nag-aalala at di nakatulog hanggang safety akong makauwi. Dala-dala ko ang masamang karanasan at hinanakit sa pangyayari, pero di ko agad nasabi sa aking asawa. Hanggang lumipas ang ilang araw, napansin niyang matamlay at di ako mapakali. Di ko matiis na di ko sabihin sa kanya, kahit alam kong apektado siya at may nervyos pag ang pag-usapan ay tungkol sa trabaho ko. With great courage, I confided everything to her. Kahit ito ay malaking problema, and it will affect us, and it will change on our normal and simple life. My career for almost 30 years of service, our personal and family safety and security, and maybe I will be condemned or be ostracized. My wife hugged me and started to cry and asked me why. I told her patagal na tayong nagsusumikap and we have to be strong and survive together. Mauna ni ang panahon nga magpakabanata means makialam. Lisod maging witness rata o maging innocent bystander. Maangol gyapon ta o maging casualty tayo. Gipasabot nako sa iya. I have to explain to her. Kailangan naay mo barog sa kamatuoran. There must be someone to rise up to the occasion. I told her that I have the moral obligation and a call of duty to uphold as police officer. In the eyes of God and in the soul of man, I have to say this, even God was betrayed 3 times. But this time, I have to say this, I don't want to betray our beloved country, our fellow Filipinos, and to God Almighty. I don't want to discredit the men and women of the Philippine National Police, the institution where I belong. I don't want to destroy my beloved alma mater, the Philippine National Police Academy, who molded me with moral values to speak for the truth that I owe, and it's time to give it back the honor and respect. Your Honor, allow me to read my affidavit.
Good. Sige.
David,
Yes, Your Honor.
also submit a copy to us.
Yes, sir.
Mahaba po yan? Ilang pages pa yan?
Saglit na ako, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Allow me to read, Your Honors, my affidavit. I, Police Colonel Hector U. Grijaldo, 3rd Level Officer, presently assigned a personal holding administrative unit, Camp Crame, Quezon City, after duly sworn to, under oath and in accordance with law, to hereby depose and states that I've been dedicated to public service for almost 30 years, and since I took my oath as cadet on June 1, 1995. On October 16, 2024, I was again invited as a resource person in the 9th Joint Public Hearing of Committees on Dangerous Drug, Public Order, Safety and Human Rights, and Public Accounts of the House of Representatives scheduled on October 22, 2024 at 9:30 a.m. I, together with other invited PNP personnel, attended the joint hearing in the House of Representatives. After I answered questions related to extrajudicial killings and the reward system, I was approached by a security personnel while I was seated in one of the witnesses during the hearing. The said person told me that I was summoned by Congressman Dan Fernandez. I went out of the room with the security personnel. When we were outside, he told me to go to the left corridor and proceed straight to the end room. While walking, I saw other witnesses who were standing in the corridor, including my classmate, Major Portalesa and Captain Anova, who was wearing PNP uniform, and the latter acknowledged me by saluting. When I entered the room, I saw 2 lawyers of Police Colonel Garma standing inside the room. One of the lawyers approached me and then asked me what we are going to talk about. I said I do not know. After a while, Kong Dan Fernandez entered the room and he asked me to sit beside him on his right side. And then Kong Abante entered the room, sat far end of the chair on the right. One of the lawyers of Police Karma stood near at my back. Kong Dan Fernandez put the paper he was holding on the table and told me, "Ito ang sasabihin mong statement na ito," while pointing on the paragraph on the paper. Ito ang supplemental affidavit ni Colonel Garma. Sabihin mo, alam mo ang reward system. I-confirm mo lang. Kong Dan told me to read the said affidavit. However, I asked the copy of affidavit he was showing to me to read it. He did not give it to me. The lawyer of Police Colonel Garma said, "Ikaw lang ang pwedeng magsabi niyan," sabi ni Colonel Garma. I was puzzled and I asked myself, why me? I respectfully told him that I cannot confirm. They are saying as I have not read the affidavit. We went silent for a while. And then Kong Dan Fernandez said, while holding the affidavit, "Saan ka pwede?" "Dito, noong 1999, about DDS. Alam mo to, pulis ka na sa Davao nito." I politely told him that I was not still with the PNP because I was working with the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology in 1999 that time. After some time, Kong Abante asked me how many years do still I have with the PNP. I answered, I still have 4 years before my retirement. Then he made a remark, Pwede ka pang maging general. I humbly responded to him, masaya na ako sa ranggo ko, sir. Pagkatapos nito, sir, uuwi na lang ako. At magtatanim na lang ako ng kamote sa amin. The cordial conversation between us continued. And I felt that they wanted me to convince me to do what they wanted me to do. Then Kong Abante asked me where I serve as a chief of police, to which I answered, Mandaluyong City Police Station. Kong Abante then persuaded me by saying, ikaw naman, Colonel, ganito na lang. Alangan namang walang insidente o pangyayari sa panahon na yon. I answered, and I served as a COP in Mandaluyong during the COVID-19 pandemic, and there were less crime committed. And we did not receive any reward from anyone. I added that we only received funds, additional MOA or support fund from the Peace and Order Fund of the LGU. I then respectfully told Kong Dan Fernandez that anybody can debunk my statement if I confirm the testimony of Colonel Garma about the DDS in 1999, since I was not a member of PNP at the time. And I have no personal knowledge as to the reward system. Additionally, I said, the work of the policeman are noble and requires great sacrifice, even without the reward or award. It is our moral obligation and a call of duty to serve our country and people. Then Kong Dan asked me, si Colonel Garma, anong masabi mo sa kanya sa Barayuga? I politely told him I cannot comment on the case. When I respectfully answered him, Sir, mahirap yan. Kasama kami sa nag-iimbestiga at hindi ko alam kung anong kinalaman niya at may investigasyon din sa amin, baka ma-incriminate ako, sir. After the discussion, they did not give me a copy of the second affidavit of Police Colonel Garma. I felt that I disappointed them. Kong Dan Fernandez and Kong Abante left the room, while I and the two lawyers of Police Colonel Garma stayed in the room for a while. I presume that they are about to present the second affidavit of Police Colonel Garma. I asked the two lawyers of Police Colonel Garma why they have chosen me. They did not answer me and just stared at me. And that I went back to the hearing room. When I went back to the hearing room, I immediately called the attention of Police Colonel Lito Patay, who were sitting behind the witness table. We proceeded at the back of the lobby area when they suspended the hearing. I confided and discussed to him what happened in the room with Kong Dan Fernandez and Kong Abante and the two lawyers of Police Colonel Garma. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Colonel Grijaldo. What motivated you to speak before this committee?
The time, Your Honor, I was insulted, and it is very offensive, and I think it is inappropriate for anyone to act like that.
No, meaning you feel that you are being coached to make that statement?
Yes, Your Honor. I feel I've been corrupted to make that statement, Your Honor.
But-
Just because that time, habang nag-uusap-usap, habang nagkakaroon ng deliberation doon sa hearing, Your Honor, hindi ko alam kung maybe present nila si Colonel Garman at that time, Your Honor, na mag-ano nung second supplemental, ay yung supplemental affidavit niya.
So do you feel harassed? Did you feel harassed?
It's an harassment and very offensive, Your Honor, and uncalled for anybody. That time, I was wearing my uniform
You're wearing your
as police
uniform
officer.
and you are being told to lie.
Parang
Am I correct?
gusto nilang magsisinungaling po ako, Your Honor.
So, Colonel Grijaldo, I would like to thank you for your courage. I'm sure maraming police kayo nanonood, and if you have observed, mabuti na nagsalita ka, dahil if you have observed the way they are treating policemen in the Quadcom, it's very hard. I feel them. Because naging police din ako. Kapag sasabihan ka lang, answer yes or no. You can only answer yes or no. You're not allowed to explain yourself. So, para bang you are being deprived. You are being deprived of your right to explain yourself. Kaya, lalong-lalo na kapag ikaw itinuturuan na itong sasabihin mo, itong paragraph sasabihin mo, o dito, pwede ka ba dito? So, that's very inappropriate and it's very irregular for a lawmaker making an investigation in aid of legislation to make that kind of approach to a resource person na parang pinipilit na itong sabihin mo, iko-coach ka, ito, pwede ka pa dito, parang lumalabas na meron talaga silang preconceived na goal na kung anong dapat nila mahit dito, kaya ginaguide yung magiging statement mo. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So ngayon, Mr. Chairman, kung nakikinig yun ang Philippine National Police, lalong-lalo na yung liderato ng Philippine National Police, I don't know what's his reaction with the statement of Grijaldo, because Colonel Grijaldo is just, well, I congratulate him for being so courageous enough to speak up for the truth in behalf of all the policemen na parang winawalang hiya sa mga tao na dapat hindi magwalang hiya sa inyo. Ay, kung nakikinig ang Chief PNP, I hope this is your person, this is your man. Dapat dipinsahan ninyo ito. Huwag ninyo itong ilagay sa litsunan. Huwag nyo ilitson itong tao na ito. Because he's standing for the PNP. Na dapat hindi ganun ang treatment ng mga resource person pagdating sa investigation. Kasi parang ang baba ng tingin sa inyo, nag-iimbestiga sa inyo. Yun lang ang nakikita ko, masyadong mababa. That's all, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations. And we'd like to thank you for standing up.
Your time has also expired. But sige, the long and short of it, yung may claim kwento, kasi hindi ko naman napanood buong Quadcom, kayo ba ay tumistigo sa Quadcom din, finally? Nagsalita rin kayo ron?
Yes, sir. We were already at the...
Nag-affidavit ka doon? Nagsabit ka
Wala po kaming affidavit. We're just...
so, ilang tanong lang ang sinagot mo doon? Ilang tanong? Tungkol saan?
The last time that I was asked by Congressman Paduana, it's all about the operation sa Oron, Your Honor.
Oron? What particular operation?
Yeah.
Sa first appearance mo? Second appearance mo?
Your Honor, the first appearance of September 27, it's all about about EGK that time, Your Honor.
Sige, basta wala kang affidavits o makikita na natin. Okay, so my colleagues, the President is getting tired. So kung meron tayong questions for the address to the former President, tanungin na lang natin. Sir, okay ka lang, sir?
Sir, I'm good until 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I know.
5 na, sir. 5 na.
Totoo, sir.
4 a.m.
4 a.m.
Hindi ako nagpapatawa.
Yes, I know that, Mr. President.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay, so-
just to clarify, and then I hope I didn't miss anything. When Colonel Grijaldo made mention about him being asked to lie and being asked to be influenced by a legislator, he is by himself, Mr. President.
Can you answer the
There's
question?
no one in the room who can
Witness, sino daw naka-witness ng exchange
Is
na
there
yun?
anyone, sir?
At present the time, the two lawyers of Colonel Garma, they were on the right side of at the back that time, Your Honor, because it was discussed in the table on this place, and it was shown to them also. It can be seen by the two lawyers because we are only 5 in the room, Your Honor.
And seen and heard
Yes, Your Honor.
the words that you uttered a while ago.
Just because one of the lawyer reacted when I refused to confirm the statement, because the whole days of this paper or like this, it was on the second page, and I've seen some notes or names, and my name was indicated in that statement. So when I rejected, or I don't want to say rejected, parang nag-explain na hindi ko kayang i-confirm yung statement na yun.
And what was the
Sabi niya,
reaction again? The reaction of the lawyers and
hindi na rin sila umimik, Your Honor. Kasi yun lang naman gusto nila na mag-collaborate sa statement na pinabit ni Colonel Garma.
thank you, Mr.
Okay,
Chair.
so can we now entertain questions directed to the former President? So, ano, sir? You're right. Wait a minute.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
President raising his hand. Yes, sir.
Thank you for giving me the time. I'd like to ask the Colonel, sino yung idiot na superior mo?
What is the question, sir? Who is the superior of...
Yes, the one who... Alam mo, ano ang ginawa ng ulol na yon? Subornation of perjury. That is a crime. Tingnan mo sa revised penal code. Subornation.
Okay po, I think you already stated it, kay Colonel Grijaldo. Nasagot na po niya, Mr. President, nasa testimony na po niya. Sige po, can we now proceed? Who has questions for the former President?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make it clear na yung ginawa ng idioto na officer mo o classmate mo.
Sir, it's not officer, congressman. Congressman ang nagsabi sa kanya. Congressman.
Yung idioto na congressman, subornation o perjury yan. He was suggesting, the mere suggestion of what he wants you to do is already a crime. Under the revised penal code, yung inuudyok mo yung tao na mag-execute ng affidavit falsely or making a false narrative, sovereign of perjury.
Yes, that's a crime under the revised penal code.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Sige sir, because we are operating under time constraints. So sabi ko kanina hanggang 3 o'clock lang tayo. But sige,
gusto ko lang habulin yung classmate mo. Yung congressman. Parang papailan mo ng kaso. Total, hindi ko na kailangan yung affidavit mo. Your narrative here is under oath. Hindi ko na kailangan yung affidavit mo. All I have to do is to take out your statement the basis of filing a case. So,
our transcript of records will be available to anyone who will request, Mr. President. Okay, next Committee Secretary. A transcript natin available to everyone. Okay, so anybody?
Your Honor.
Senator Lisa? Can we?
Your Honor.
What is it about, ma'am?
About subordination of perjury.
We all know about the theory
I
about
just wanted to
subordination.
say na ganun din po ang ginawa nila.
Okay.
Subordination of perjury.
Sige po. Thank you. Thank you. Senator Risa Aldeveros is recognized.
Salamat kaayo, Mr. Chair. So, bago po magsimula, gusto ko lang pong ipaalala sa ating lahat na seryosong usapin ito. At tiwala ako sa chair ng subcom na seryoso tayo dito. At hindi ko po na-appreciate ang napaka-casual na mga sagot ni dating presidente tungkol sa patayan. At tumatawag, pumapalakpak pa ang ilang kasama dito sa session hall. So siguro, tigilin na natin yung nakasanayan natin na normalize at gawing katatawanan ng patayan. Sir, sabi nyo, when you are confronted by a criminal, you must overcome the resistance. Ibig po ba sabihin na lahat ng na EJK may baril? Kasi kung gano'n, nasa na po kaya yung mga baril? Dapat may libo-libo ng baril sa custody ng PNP. Do you have any thought on that?
No, that is you're asking somebody somewhere or to make an accounting which is not possible. That your question cannot be answered here.
All right, sir. So, but I think it can be questioned kung hindi nyo kayang i-address, itatanong po namin sa PNP. Sabi nyo rin po kanina, you take full legal responsibility for the consequences of the drug war.
Yes.
Kanina rin, kanina rin sabi nyo, maraming mali. No? So, halimbawa, si Kian de los Santos, menor de edad, hindi armado, nagmamakaawa, pero pinatay ng mga pulis sa drug war. Do you take responsibility for the death of Kian de los Santos?
The criminal act, hindi naman siguro.
The death. You take responsibility for his death.
Walang maniwala na abogado sa akin yan.
Hindi po, sir. Hindi po abogado. Nandito pa lang tayo sa Senado.
I was referring to the policy na ginawa ko para sa mga pulis.
Yes, sir. At nagbunga yung polisiya.
I take full responsibility.
Yes. And what about yung bunga ng polisiya na libo-libong namatay kasama si Kian de los Santos? Do you also take full responsibility for that? Because in October 2020, na-quote po kayo na sinabi nyo, if there's killing there, I'm saying I'm the one. You can hold me responsible for anything. Any death that has occurred in the execution of the drug war. Noong October ulit, October 21, noong 2021 naman, in a Reuters interview, kinwote kayo na sinabing, if there is any person who is going to prison, it would be me. I assume full responsibility. So, do you assume responsibility for the death of Kian de los Santos?
No.
No. How about si Carl
alam mo, ma'am, before you rumble on those communities.
No, I'm not rambling, Mr. Chair. Very specific yung mga tanong ko.
Specific ang law. Guilt is personal. Tanong ko muna ng abogado.
Okay lang po. Kaya-kaya mo magtanong sa abogado. Sige, itanong ko po.
Before we proceed.
No. I have prepared these questions with my
Guilt is personal.
Yes, it's very personal.
Hindi mo pwedeng ipasa sa iba yan.
No. Hindi po ito pagpasa. Iniimbestiga po ng Blue Ribbon yung war on drugs at yung naging bunga ng extrajudicial killings dyan. And I am basing my question dun sa mga sinabi ninyo repeatedly, parang tuwing Oktubre nga sinasabi nyo, na you will take responsibility.
Correct.
So now let me ask you about Carl Anthony Nunez, 20 years old. Walang nahanap na droga o baril sa katawan niya. Sabi nga ng investigador, mistaken identity. Do you take responsibility for his death?
You know, ma'am, can I ask for a recess of just...
It's all right, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Hearing is suspended. Senator Otiveros has the floor.
Salamat kaayo, Mr. Chair. So, i-summarize ko na lang yung unang line of questioning ko. The point of my question tungkol sa assuming responsibility or not kina Kian, Carl Anthony Nunez, Itatanong ko rin dapat sa Althea Barbon na 4 years old, at si Carl Arnaiz, at si Reynaldo de Guzman alias Kulot, na-confirm sa Caloocan Court na the evidence was merely planted by the police. Ang point ng unang questioning ko na yon ay kung ina-acknowledge nyo o hindi na yung policy nyo caused the death of innocents. So lastly, Mr. Chair, actually may mga 100 tanong pa sana ako sa dating presidente, pero na-high blood yata sila sa akin. So 2 huling tanong na lang. Una po, yes, Mr. Chair.
Pero lang siguro kasi excited lang ako. First time ako naka-appear ng Senate. But walang personalan yan. It has nothing to do with you, yung character. Yung boses ko lang kasi excited. But if you are offended by the demeanor, then mag-change gear ako. I'll try to do it with moderation.
Salamat kaayo, Mr. Chair. Salamat kaayo, Mr. Chair.
At saka sandali, ma'am.
Mr. Chair.
And I'm addressing lahat kayo. Taga-probinsya po ako. Hindi ninyo pwede akong masumo na papaulit-ulit. Pag ginawa ninyo yan, isnabin ko kayo. Wala akong pera. I am not that rich na mag-travel dito sa aeroplano. Mahal yan. I am nagbubuhay ako sa retirement pay ko. So, pati itong pamasahe ko, retirement pay ko yan. Wala akong negosyo ever since. Gobyerno lang ako. I have been an employee of government ever since. Kaya, I do not have my public life is open to everybody. So, magastos masyado, ma'am. Kaya, kung maaari lang, tapusin natin ito hanggang bukas. Huwag na tayong umalis dito.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Salamat kayo, Mr. Chair.
Tapusin talaga natin ito. Tapusin natin ito dito ngayon. Huwag tayong umalis dito hanggang umaga. Umabot man tayo hanggang umaga bukas. Huwag tayong umalis dito. Tapusin natin dito.
Okay, Mr. President, we are prioritizing the questions directed to you. Sige, Senator Ortiveros.
Salamat kayo, Mr. Chair. So, pangalawang tanong ko, tinawagan nyo ba si Senior Superintendent Padilla para i-congratulate siya sa pagpatay sa 3 high-value targets na Chinese nationals na inilagay sa loob ng Davao Penal Colony? Kasi sinabi nyo daw, congrats Superintendent Padilla, job well done. Pero grabe ang ginawang dinuguan. Do you confirm this, Mr. Chair?
You call Padilla now because he is lying. I do not know him. And I do not have to congratulate this policemen and soldiers. Trabaho ninyo yan. Why do I have to congratulate you? Trabaho kayo dyan.
So you do not confirm na tinawagan nyo si Senior Superintendent Padilla?
I only congratulate people with itong mga police na graduate with honors kasi nagtuturo ako sa Police Academy. May congratulatory message ako. Pero congratulate ako ng ano.
Well, Mr. Chair, of course, absolutely hindi naman natin kailangan investigate yung graduating with honors sa academy. Pero yung EJ case at war on drugs, kailangan talagang kaya natin ini-investiga.
Kaya huwag tayong umalis dito sa kwartong ito hanggang matapos ang gusto ninyong kunin sa akin.
Well, Mr. Chair, so yung huling tanong ko for today, for the record,
bakit tinawag sa inyo ako dito tapos yan ang huli ninyong tanong?
May mga colleagues pa yata tayo, Mr. Chair, na magtatanong sa dating presidente. So, for the record, sinasabi nyo ba na ang mga drug users at drug criminals ay dinideserve nilang mamatay na lang kaysa pumunta sa jail? O para i-paraphrase ko si Patricia Evangelista, do some people need killing, Mr. Duterte?
Ma'am, presidente ako. Nagagastos ako sa gobyerno. Bakit ako magbubuhay sa mga putang inang yan? Kung yung pera na ipapakain ko dyan sa preso, ibigay ko na lang doon sa mga tao dyan sa walang bigat.
So mas okay kung patayin sila kaysa ipreso sila?
Pakialam dyan sa kriminal, ma'am.
So, thank you for making that of record.
Pakialam sa kriminal kung saan silang impernong gusto nilang pumunta.
Well, Mr. Chair, for the record,
you make your own history in this planet.
yes, Mr.
Yun
Chair.
ang gusto nilang mangyari. Doon sila sa impyerno at doon tayo magkita.
Well, Mr. Chair, wala namang jurisdiction ng Senado sa impyerno. Dito lang sa bansa natin pwede tayo mag-investigate.
Ba't doon tayo pupunta?
Well, wala po akong ambisyon pumuntang impyerno pa. Pero Mr. Chair, ang punto lang nito ay nung magsisimula ang anumang police operations, drug-related police operations, supposed to be, at sinabi ng mga resource persons, merong pong manual of operations, merong continuum of force sa pag-enforce pag-implement ng police anti-drug operation. So, ang premise is, yun na nga, arrest muna at build the case. Well, Mr. Chair, no, as a final word, I hope and I imagine that the Department of Justice is watching dahil ang daming admissions ng dating presidente involving criminal acts. Salamat kayo. Kasaysayan na lang po maghuhusga. Salamat kayo, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. President.
Nagtataka ako hanggang ngayon ng Justice Department hindi pa nag-file ng kaso hanggang ngayon. Katagal lang. Matagal ako pumapatay ng tao hanggang ngayon hindi pa sila nag-file ng kaso.
Mr. Chair, another addition to the list that's growing by the minute.
Okay, for the record, Mr. President. Mr. President, for the record, kasi may nagtanong din sa akin
Huwag na tayo magdrama dito. Tapusin na natin itong istorya nito dito sa Pilipinas.
For the record, Mr. President,
Kasi naawa ako dito sa mga pulis. Sa totoo lang, naawa ako sa mga pulis, pati sundalo. Kaya ako, akin mind and mind alone. Pag nag-inutusan ko ito, mag-operate itong mga buang na ito, kung ano mangyari akin yan, I'm emotional because I've been longing to state this particular sentiment. Protektado ko yan sila. Basta in the fulfillment of duty, Mr. Senator, yan sila, naging chief of police yan. Protektado ko ang police pag nagtrabaho in the fulfillment of duty. Pero alam nila, ang mga police na pumasok ng kidnapping, alam nila yung police nila, pinatay ko.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ako po may tanong din. Pinag-aralan namin pinanood namin yung mga footages mo nung you were president-elect tapos naging presidente. Meron kayong sinasabing ang reward, iba-iba nga yung amounts, tapos sasabihin nyo parang may encouragement na patayin ng mga kriminal, pero dudugtungan nyo parati sa dulo ng lalo na kung nalagay sa peligro yung buhay ninyo. Okay. So, ito lang po yung tanong ko. So, when you were president, hindi nyo ba po concern na malito yung mga nakikinig sa'yo, na kausap mong mga law enforcers, na may maniwala, lalo na dun sa first part ng sinabi mo at na-confuse na sila sa... Kasi, paliko-liko po yung mga pronouncements ko na yun, Mr. President. When you were president, were you not concerned that you will be misinterpreted?
Hindi. Kasi matagal akong instructor ng pulis eh. Ay, dumadaan ito sa psychiatric, gagastos pa ako ng, when I was also president, may funding ako dito sa mga psychiatric, nila. Nandyan yan sa item eh. Hindi naman ito at saka, alam mo, Senator, pag kayo mga ganun, mga heinous crime, mga patayan dito, ang presidente o mayor, hindi pwedeng kailangan magbitaw ka talaga ng salita. Ina ninyo. Kasi pag hindi, hindi ako na nagyayabang. Look at my city. I would like to we travel back. Ano ang syudad ng Davao noon? Nung hindi pa ako mayor. Nandyan yung komunista, nandyan yung mga photographer, nandyan lahat. Abusado na pulis, abusado na sundalo. Puro kriminal, puro kanya-kanya. Nung na mayor ako, sabi ko, hinto kayo, either, ayan siya, mga nandyan naman na noon. Sabi ko sa mga pulis, either patayin ninyo ako o papatayin ko kayo. Putang ina, huminto kayo dyan ng bitse kayo. Dahil kung sinabi ko yan sa mga kriminal, sa pulis, lalo na sa kriminal. Pero yung mga pulis na nag-kidnap, sumali sa hold-up, mga tao nila, pinatay ko talaga. Alam nila yan. Ibibigay nila yung pangalan kung tanungin mo. All you have to do is to place them under oath. Sinabi ko sa kanila, pati kayo pag hindi ninyo madisiplina yung mga tao ninyo. Bayad ang mga tao ng sweldo ninyo, tapos pati kayo kasali dyan. Stricto talaga ako sa pulis. Ayan sila. Puro general yan. Protektado ko ang pulis pag sa trabaho. Kasi ma-demoralize pag hayaan mo. Alam mo ba, Senator, nung mayor ako, ayan, puro dumaan ng Davao yan, puro naging chief of police yan. Pagka ang pulis nagkaroon ng kaso, yung araw na yon na ma-file yung kaso against the police, yung sweldo niya, hinto na yan. Wala nang pagkain na dumadating doon sa pati yung mga anak. Hinto pati yung edukasyon ng bata. Kaya pinoprotektahan ko sila. Ito puro generals. Pero alam nila, sila mismo pinoprotektahan ko. Dumaan ang kaso yan. Pero yung mga pulis na gago,
I will take advantage of the presence of the former president and then ask now the police generals present this afternoon. Narinig niyo yung sinabi ni Presidente? At Generals Danao and Cuy, do you confirm what the President said? Na kung involved ang police ninyo sa krimen, siya mismo ang pinapatay daw niya. So do you confirm such a statement?
alam nila.
As far as I'm concerned, sir, when I was under the Davao City Police Office, hindi naman siguro sila pinapatay.
Sige, tell us.
As far as I know, sir, wala pang pinatay po si Mayor talaga.
What do you do? What do you do to the policemen involved in crime?
Policeman is involved in crime, sir. Yes, okay.
That's the scenario.
Sir, nung panahon ko, when I was the city director, there was one policeman who was discharged for illegal drugs. And unfortunately, Hindi ko na lang po i-mention yung pangalan kung sino yung congressman na nilapitan at na-reinstate po sa serbisyo. In short, okay, he was already discharged from illegal drugs. Wala pang 1 year, sir. Walang ginawa kundi magmaoy, mamaril, at binabaril niya, sir, yung kanyang misis, binabattle indok niya yan. Okay? So, in short, sir, yung taong yun, kinausap ko. Kasi sabi ko, kababalik mo lang, baka pwede namang maglaylo ka. Okay? So, ang nangyari, sir, naglaylo siguro ng 3 linggo. Ganon uli, sir. So, binaril na ng binaril yung misis niya. And accordingly, sabi mismo ng misis niya, Sir, kaya po laging nagwawala na naman itong mister ko dahil bumalik uli sa droga. So, in short, sir, pinatay namin. Ganoon na, sir.
Anong sa anong circumstances? Meaning, pinatay ninyo, paano?
Sir, lumaban, sir, Pulis, may sariling baril, sir. Binabaril nga na yung misis niya. Kami pa.
Pinatay nyo sa bahay niya?
Yes, sir. Pinoperate namin talaga, yes, sir. Pinoperate namin, sir. Nakalimutan ko lang yung apelyido. Pero that was when I was the city director. I think it was 2014.
Ano man po?
I am familiar with the...
Sige, sir. Can you supply the details, Mr. President?
Yes, lumaban, sir.
Yung anong petsa, so that yung mga gusto mag-research further sa insidente, anong petsa, anong pangalan ng tao?
I cannot... it would be impossible to remember that. I have to go back home and...
General Danao, month and year? Para lang because this happened in Davao City, pero anong month and year? Para...
Yes, sir. Hindi ko lang, sir, maalala yung pero I was the city director, sir, Pero that was from... Kasi I was assigned, sir, from 2012 up to 16 yata. Basta almost 3 years yun, sir,
Thank you.
So, walang ginawa yun, sir, kundi magsumbong sa station. And, actually, pinatawag ko, sir, yung police, Yun nga ang pinagtataka ko, sir. Dahil na-discharge na ito, hindi ko na lang sasabihin, sir, kung sinong congressman yung nilapitan niya.
Sige po.
And, nakabalik, sir, sa serbisyo. So, yun ang nakakasakit, sir, sa atin. Dinischarge ka na nga for illegal drugs, and yet, nakabalik ka ulit. Pagbalik mo, the same trabaho, illegal drugs pa rin. So what will we do dun, sir? Alam ka naman na misis mo, binabaril mo, buntis, binabatil indok mo, di lalo na sa ibang tao.
Thank you, General Cuy. Any reaction to what the President said?
Sir, when I was the city director then in 2005, I cannot remember any incident of a member of the Davao City Police na involved in illegal activities. But yung policy na yun po ni Mayor noon was well known to the public, more so to the members of the police force.
Senator,
go ahead,
sir. Sa lahat ng puro nagdaan ng Davao to, pinakamabait yan si Kuy. Hindi makapatay ng lamok yan. Yung iba dyan, Danao, patay ka dyan. Alam mo, ang trabaho nitong mga to is to confront criminals. And pag nandyan na yan, buhay na nila. Ngayon, mamili tayo. Ako, nung mamili ako, sabihin ko, sige, habulin mo. Patayin mo pag lumaban. Yun talaga ngayon. Patayin mo pag lumaban. Hindi ko sinasabi isalvage mo. Nasabihin ko, hulihin mo, nakakampag, tapos barilin mo. Hindi trabaho ng lalaki yan Kung tunay ka na lalaki, hindi mo trabaho yung patay ng tao na bigyan mo ng baril, magbarila na lang kayo. Alam nila yan lahat ayan si katabi mong senador, alam niya yan.
Senator De La Rosa.
Mr. Chair, I would like to share also my own personal experience. Pagdating dyan sa mga words ni President Duterte na sinabi niya, yung pananakot niya sa kriminal na pag kayo gumawa, lalo na kayo mga pulis, na involved kayo sa kidnapping, involved kayo sa droga, involved kayo sa hold-upan, papatayin ko kayo. Yes! Sinabi niya yan. Sinabi niya yan. At itong mga pulis na ito, na namamatay din, namamatay sila during operation na kinandak sa kanila, dahil lumaban talaga sila. Hindi naman pupuntahan mo lang yung pulis para barilin. Sabi nga ni Presidente, hindi gawain ng lalaki yan. Hindi gawain ng lalaki yan. I have my own personal experience. Isang tao ko noon, matagal na kong tao, sinaligan yung trusted ko na tao. Ang problema, nagka-girlfriend ng isang drug addict. Nung girlfriend niya yung drug addict, siya rin tumira na ng droga. Ngayon, nung tumira na siya ng droga, dahan-dahan na rin siya nagbibinta ng droga. Pupusing na siya. So, naawol siya ngayon. Nung naawol siya, nag-full time na talaga siya naging puser. Sabi ni President Duterte nung mayor siya, yung mga pulis na yan na nagbibinta ng droga, papatayin ko kayo. Alam mo nangyari? Inupuritan yung pulis na yon. Tauhan ko yung dati. Inupiritan siya. Pag-operate sa kanya, nag-bypass. Nung nag-positive, inaresto siya. Pinasok siya. Barilan sila. Nung mga SWAT na pumasok. Ang masakit pa nga, Mr. Chair, yung mga SWAT na pumasok sa kanya, nag-assault, classmate niya na matagal niya kasama from the training center hanggang sila nagiging SWAT, hanggang nagiging kasama sa basketball araw-araw, kasama sa kusina kumakain araw-araw. Pero sabi ng pulis ng SWAT na nag-assault, Sir, ano magagawa ko? Classmate ko yan, hindi ko kayang patayin, pero lumaban eh. Kaya, paano ko i-explain ito ngayon sa asawa ng classmate ko, namatay na kumari ko. Kumari ko pa yun. Ang hirap i-explain, sir. Patay na yung classmate ko, pero kung hindi ko rin naman siya barilin, ako mamamatay. Magaling na shooter yung tao na yan. Magaling yan bumaril. Kaya ganun po ang nangyari. Pag sinabi ni President Duterte sa matter of policy na papatayin ko kayo mga kriminal, papatayin ko kayo mga pulis na sindikato, yun ang ibig sabihin, papatayin kapag lumaban. Yun talaga. Sabi niya, mas gusto ko pagkatapos ng putukan, kayo ang nakatayo. Yung kriminal ang tumba. Hindi kayo ang natumba. Ang kriminal ang nakatayo because mahirapan akong mag-explain doon sa pamilya ng pulis na namatayan. Pero yung kriminal, wala mang problema kasi sila man talaga na gumawa ng krimen. Kaya kung lumaban, ang mahirap kasi, pagka kinuha natin yung word palagi na yung intimidation na ginagawa ni Presidente sa mga kriminal, pang-intimidate lang yun. Kaya nga, ang ganda ng Davao City dahil takot talaga pumasok ang mga kriminal doon. Sabi niya, pag kayo kriminal pumasok sa Davao City, hindi kayo makakalabas dito. Kaya takot sila. That's intimidation. Pero yung pag-implement ng sinasabi na papatay ko kayo, walang pulis na gago na graduate ka ng public safety basic recruit course na tinuruan ka ng police operational procedure, tinuruan ka ng mga lahat ng mga rules of court doon sa training mo, tapos isalvage mo yung tao. Walang pulis na gano'n. May pinag-aralan ng pulis eh. Yung pinag-aralan yan. Kahit nasabihin pa ni Presidente na, barilin mo diretso ha, barilin mo diretso. Hindi susundin ng pulis yan. Dahil alam nila what is tama at anong hindi. Kaya, palagi lang na may misinterpret, na may misquote yung kanyang mga hyperbole, yung mga superlatives, yung mga, ano pa yung mga pinagsasabi ni Presidente, just to send the message to the spine of the criminals na takutin sila. Yun po ang technique niya. Magaling yan siya sa magaling yan siya sa Saiwan eh. Magaling siya sa pag-iintriga hanggang yung mga kriminal mismo magbabarilan. Sila na lang mismo. At yun na ginawa niya Davao Death Squad, yung mga kriminal na nagbabarilan. Salamat sa inyo. At wala nang trabaho yung police. Kayo na mga kriminal nagbabarilan dyan sa Davao City.
To complete your story, Senator Bato, yung sa tauhan mo, if you can remember the time frame? time period nung
Nakalimutan.
anong month, anong year?
Nakalimutan
Sige
ko.
pa, para lang
Okay. Sige lang, mag-research na tayo. Magpaparesearch na ako kung anong year yun. Paparesearch ko.
Mr. President, one last question from me. I don't know yung mga colleagues ko meron pa. Meron pong footages kasi na katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, yung sabi mo kung pwede kayo ma-misinterpret na in-encourage nyo patayin pero dinudugtungan nyo ng kumanlaban, ganun. Pero sabi mo rito, may 3 million ako sa mga drug lords, itong terrorizing, supervising na durugista 2 million, second echelon 1 million, ordinaryo 50,000. Did you actually fulfill itong mga rewards na sinabi nyo po? Kahit na doon sa pwede nyo sabihin na pasok sa inyo sinabi na napatay mo kasi self-defense. Did you actually give rewards like this, Mr. President?
Istorya lang yun, sir. Kung pulis ka, hindi, ito na, dala. Kung may pinatay siya, tapos sabihin niya, sir, sana sinabi mong reward, mumarahin kita. Putang ina, trabaho mo yung magpatay tapos magkubra. Ano ito, kahiro mo? Trabaho mo yung magpatay ka pa ng patay. Yan ang trabaho mo. Kaya tayo binibigyan ng baril. Ang ibig kong sabihin, patayin ninyo yung masasamang tao, kriminal. Wala akong sinabi na pumatay kayo ng inosente. Alam nila ng lahat. Yan sila. Naggalit ako pag ikaw ang pulis, nag-abuso at may nagsumbong sa akin na binugbog ka ng pulis o pinatay mo yung asawa niya, putang ina kang pulis ka, may problema ka sa akin. Either maglayas ka, alam nila yan. Pag hindi, maabutan kita.
Okay. Mr. Chair, just to add to the statement, go ahead, President Duterte. Yung sinasabi-sabi niya na pera, amount na ganito, ang may understanding to that is kasama yan sa fear factor na gusto niyang i-inject doon sa mga kriminal. Tingnan nyo, nung in-announce niya na meron kang babayaran ko yung drug lord, sabi niya 1 million o iba-ibang prices, iba-ibang amount. Tingnan mo. Kung saan napunta ang pinakamalaking drug lord sa Cebu, si Jaguar, lumayas. Nagtago dito sa Las Piñas. Hanggang dito na ko sa Las Piñas. Yung mga drug lord sa Iloilo, si Udicta, saan nagpunta? Pumunta dito sa Manila. Kasi natakot sila. Natakot talaga sila, Mr. Chairman. Pero kung sinabi mo na actual na binigay yung pera na yan, na pangtakot, na kung may napatay, ibinigay, I don't know. Tanungin natin si President Duterte kung binigay ba niya kung may namatay. Pero ang alam ko, pangtakot lang niya yung kaya layasan yung mga drug lord dito sa Pilipinas. Ngayon, nawala na si President Duterte, bumalik na naman. Andyan na naman sila ngayon. Continue yung kanilang trabaho, kanilang negosyo. Kaya,
hindi nila nakuha yung style ko, sir. Hindi ako magsabi na magbigay ako bounty, ikaw yung kriminal. Criminal ay 50,000. Sabihin ko, ang pulis ang bigyan ko, 50,000, sigurado mahulihan ko. Sabihin mo lang 50,000 doon, no? Wala. Pero sabihin mo, ibigay mo yung 50,000, no? Hanapin mo. Pag lumaban, patayin mo. Alam nila yan kasi dumaan yan lahat sa akin. Instructor ako sa criminal law, pati criminal procedure. Dumaan yan sila sa akin either sa klase or lecture. Alam nila lahat. Alam nila lahat kung papaano pumatay ng legal at papaano pumatay na makukulong ka. always in the fulfillment of duty when your life is in danger. Alam nila yan. Pagka-pulis ka, hindi lang basta-basta bumaril ka dyan. Only when you are enforcing the law at sabihin mo mag-surrender ka, pag ayaw mo mag-surrender, lapitan mo, you must overcome the resistance. Pagka nakaputukan kayo, sabihin, sinasabi ko sa IAS at sabihin ko uli ngayon, ang sinasabi ko sa pulis, huwag kayong umuwi dito sa o mag-report sa akin na may tama ka. Galit ako, sabihin ko, bakit ikaw ang tinamaan? Putang ina. Anong klaseng pulis ka na? Alam nila yan. Yan sila na puro nang dumaanan si pulis yan. Alam nila yan. Senator, ayaw kong makita yung pulis ko na matay. Kasi naaawa ako sa mga piyuda. Kaya lahat, alam na, ito, nandiyan sila. Lahat ng pulis na mamatay sa Davao, pinupuntahan ko talaga. At yung mga byuda nila, ayan, nandiyan sila, nandito harap-harapan. Yung mga byuda nila, ginagawa ko casual sa City Hall para may pundo lang pagkain. Tanungin mo yan sila isa. Ganon yan. Pag nasuspende ang pulis, nung mayor ako, wala na yung sweldo, ako ang nagbabayad. At pag may kaso, ako ang nagbibail bond. Pero kung abusado at kriminal, alam nila, nagpapatayan ko talaga sila. Alam nila yan. Alam ng buong Davao yan. Huwag na tayo bulaan. Hindi ako matapang. Takot rin ako mamatay. Pero may paraan ako.
Thank you, Mr. President. Okay.